Welcome one and all, I'm Decoy, back with some more cool and unique camp locations for you. Starting off in the forest this week with a crashed vertibird. Pretty freaking cool. There's not many of these out there in the world, which makes it a little bit more special. Now one really neat thing about it is you can actually go inside of it, where you'll find that one of the poor pilots just didn't make it out. I mean, even if he had, I don't think he would have made it very long. But you will get a first aid kit inside of it, and that is always awesome, unless it gives you dirty water, then maybe not so cool. So, right across from it, you'll find a little campsite set up. It's got a shovel, ammo box, possibly enemies. I know it sucks that they're there, but it's the forest, they're low levels. You can handle it. I believe in you. Of course, you had the cooking station. I mean, any kind of crafting bench type thing. Always awesome. Other than that, I mean, you will get several different containers throughout the entire camp. So really, you weigh it all out. You got multiple containers. You got ammo container. You got a med container. And you got possible enemies. Most likely enemies. Not a bad spot to be hanging out. The enemies may get annoying, but just look at it as free XP and loot at the cost of occasionally having to repair some stuff. That wraps up that one. Now let's head to Toxic Valley. Oh, look at it. Looking all toxic already. Now, this spot, I could have swore I checked it out a long time ago, and I wanted to camp here, but it didn't seem like I had the option to. But then when I returned to it, now it seems like it's okay. It's kind of weird. This is a really cool spot. When I showed up here, had some rad stags. I mean, hey, free food. You just have to kill it first. But I like the fact that you got a little island back there, a couple little bridges going out to it, and then off to this side, we have a little bit more going on. You got your picnic tables, you got a food container, and free food. And that food you might not have to murder. How about that? So I'm not really sure what section of this place people might want to camp in. This spot over here is pretty cool. But I feel like most likely people are going to want to set up more on the island part. But I mean, you got a little beachfront right here. Overall, it's a decent spot. I'm sure many of you have came across it at one point or another. But if you want to camp here, you'll find it right up here. Fairly well centered there in Toxic Valley. So, honestly can't complain. And you've got some water there for those of you who absolutely must have water. Now, let's head down to the ash heap. Oh yeah, look at it. Everybody loves the ash heap. Now this spot, well, it might not look like much. It's in the ash heap, and it's unique. And that's all I really required at this point. Fair warning, enemies can spawn here. Lovely super mutant right there holding on to some money for me. I'll pick that up in a minute. Now there are a couple fuel containers here. Got you a container that you will have to lockpick. And you get a porta potty with a unique sign on the side of it. Kinda cool. You also find some radaway inside of the porta potty. And additionally, over here in this dump truck, if you get up inside of it, you'll find a couple of bags that you can loot. And if you're camping here, I feel like you may be able to plant crops up in the back of this thing. Don't quote me on it, but based on how other things have worked, I feel like it's a pretty good chance you can do that. If you're wanting to camp here, you'll find it right up here. Location-wise, not the best, but not the worst. It's a location, and that's what it is. Now let's head in to the Savage Divide. And this spot, I really do like this spot. I feel like someone's got to camp here at some point. So first look might not look like much. I mean, there's a little shack right here. You can find a banjo here that you can pick up, scrap it, sell it in your shop, whatever you want to do. But you've got like the moonshine still in here, which is awesome. So if you're someone that's really into the moonshining or nuka shining, this would be a really cool camp for you. And of course you got several moonshine jugs around the area. So you got the location. Other than the structure, not a whole lot going on. You do have this little platform, which may work out fairly well to put a turret on. But I really like that right here, you have a nice clean little build area. So you can have your house right here. You got your moonshine shack, nuka shine shack off to the side. And then you've got a really, really impressive view looking out into the Savage Divide, the mire, that whole area. I could do without the mountains kind of despawning in the background, but beggars can't be choosers. Overall, really, really cool little spot for you. So if you're wanting to camp here, you'll find it way up here. It keeps you close to one of the more sought-after workshops in the game. I realize it's up at the top of the map, so maybe a little less sought after, but still an impressive location. Now let's head in to the mire. And I don't know how many people are going to like this, but I see a lot of potential in this spot. So under a bridge, we've got a couple of tents, so there's you a couple containers. Now other than that, not really anything to talk about. I just like the amount of space that you have under this bridge for you to do some building. I feel like you could fit a fairly decent sized structure under that bridge. And of course there's some brain fungus right there. But I feel like if you place your camp a little bit higher up, maybe on top of the bridge or on the rocks underneath, just to get a little bit more elevation, you could really take advantage of that spot. Not only that, you're going to be super close to Harper's Ferry, the Purveyor, all that good stuff. So overall, really solid location. Now let's head down to the Cranberry Bog. Now this spot, extremely simplistic. And while it might not look it, it is just barely classified as Cranberry. I look at the map and I would swear this is Savage Divide. But no, it's Cranberry. But at this spot, you'll find a dead soldier and a crashed plane. Not much else, but if you're someone that wants to have a crashed plane at your camp, this is a fairly cool one. So you got your plane here, but way up in that tree, you have a wing. So, depending on how you build your camp, it would be pretty cool to see someone take advantage of the wing way up in the tree somehow. But if you want to camp here, you'll find it right over here. And again, I know it doesn't look like Cranberry, but technically it is. But that's going to wrap up all of my locations for this week. But as usual, don't worry, I'll be back next week with even more of them for you. So I hope you've enjoyed this. Please remember to like, sub, and share. Later.